Welcome back to Working Artist. Now we have another guest. What's your name?
Ali Alhayki.
Ali Alhayki. Ali, when is the last time we saw each other? Do you remember?
I believe it must have been Dreamland Expo.
I didn't go there. Okay, Ali, welcome to our show. You're our second guest, and I'm very excited to talk about you today. But first of all, can you introduce yourself a little bit?
Well, basically, I love art. I'm an artist. I don't just consider myself as a graphic designer, of course. Basically, I'm not good with computers when it comes to designing. But I can do a lot of things traditionally very well.
Okay.
Like such as canvases, small prints, basically anything that comes to detail.
Let us first look at your work. I can see that you do multiple styles.
Yeah.
Can you talk about this one, for example?
This one was a recent one. It basically says last night. It's calligraphy.
Oh, from the first look, it looks something in Arabic.
Yeah, that's the thing with calligraphy. Unless you can actually distinguish it between basically what language it is, you won't be able to read it off at all. But it does look nice. That's the thing.
So that's a print out, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you tell us about the original size of this work?
The original size is on an A4 paper. It's basically, it's in a notebook I have. I always carry around in my backpack, whether I'm going to work, whether I'm at home. It's always with me, and I draw stuff which come to my mind or something. So recently, I have been jumping towards between a few drawings, but what I like most is either drawing something and then writing a story over it, or calligraphy.
A story? Can you tell us the story behind this one?
The story behind that one, I was going insane at work.
Oh.
Yes.
Talk more about it, please. I can see a skull with a knife, and there is a reflection of a lady.
Yes, so this one, as I said, it was a story to do with work. Basically, how some people can have two faces. So, yeah, I did have a friend and colleague, who I always trusted at work. And I could tell her anything, she could tell me anything. And we'd always help each other out. And then one day I found out that she had been secretly reporting behind my back. Well, of course, I'm not the type of person to go and basically get angry at them, confront them or anything. I just leave the thing be. Maybe she had maybe she had issues, maybe she had points of view. Maybe it's something I said that upset her. But to showcase my frustration, I basically drew something.
Do you think that taking all of these, let's say, not very pleasant moments and turning them into an art is considered to be one of the things an artist can do in order to find their creative niche, let's say?
Actually, they can. To find a creative niche, it could be anything. Like, there's so many, for example, drawings that I have made that have actually screwed up in a way. And instead of just tearing it up and throwing it away, no, I complete on it, maybe I add something, and then it turns into a wonderful piece of art. So it could be anything. You can put your feelings into art. Instead of just throwing your feelings away or hiding them or compressing them or something, throw it into art. You feel sad, art. You feel happy, art. You feel angry, art. You might start to find, there'd be a certain pattern in something. Maybe you like something, maybe you like to make tattoos, maybe you'd like to make small drawings, maybe you'd like to make logos or something. And you can find it any way possible where it's through, whether it's just exploring the mind, whether it's through feelings, whether it's through anything you can see.
Okay, so it's literally anything.
Yes.
That someone can see.
Just consider that the world is like a portrait. And everything that's happening is everything that's going onto the portrait.
Some people, when they actually study art, they say that they kind of lose their own style because they see a lot of different styles, they try so many different things. So they want to revisit their own practice. They want to think what makes them special. And they find it a little bit harder after, studying. So can you tell us more about studying art and being an artist, a genuine artist? Do you think that those who study arts actually become better artists at the end?
Well, to be honest, I never studied art. And actually, even though I would like to study it, I've always considered it as one of the most boring things someone can do. Because as far as I've seen, it's always been put a bowl of fruit, draw that, put a sculpture, draw that. It's like, I don't want to do that.
So you consider yourself to be a self-taught artist?
Somewhat, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Basically, I like to draw what I like to draw, and as you said, to explore other people's arts. For example, one of my inspirations I have is, it's a very hard name to pronounce, Russian name, Ilya Kushinov.
Okay.
And there's also Piccolo Pan. I've also taken inspiration from Ali Alhayki, of course, and I've just seen all different types of arts. I love their art and everything, but I finally found my own art after exploring literally a lot of things. I find, for me, it's more comfortable to make calligraphy art. I really love it because I can put so much detail in it, and I can never spoil it. That's the best thing about art. You can put so much detail, you can never spoil it. There's no such thing as bad art. I could draw a stick figure, that's art.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you've seen Cyanide and Happiness, one of the best artists. Another thing is, what I find that I like doing is drawing a piece of art and then writing over it, making it into a story.
Okay, so let's move to the third piece of art here we have on the table. Can you talk about the size of it?
So, this is what I was kind of talking about earlier, when sometimes I do like to find, So this is what I was talking about earlier, when sometimes I do like to find inspiration behind my art. It can come from reading books, it can come from watching, well, just random funny videos or something. But basically I can find my art in anything, even if it's like a piece of bread. You just have to look into it, you have to take into it, and there's always a story behind it. So I find that some arts, they deserve their own story, where it came from or what's about, or as this bird, for example. It's basically teaching how a bird can give you reminders to, you can be free and everything. You don't have to be a part of something. You don't have to act the way people want you to act. But at the same time, it's showing that if you capture that bird, you're not going to go anywhere.
I can tell from these artworks that you are into minimalism. You like to leave a white background. And so can you tell us more about this?
Yeah, I got into minimalism because of basically how simplistic it is. You don't need to fill every space with something. You can have just like a small thing, and then it could be art. But it's what you put inside that small thing.
Could you exhibit your work somewhere else that's not social media, for example?
I've been to a few places like IGN and so what. I've exhibited there, and I found my first ever IGN, actually, I didn't know I was going to make it actually. I didn't know if I was going to be part of it. I barely brought any of my work, yet I sold out.
That's good.
So since then I've been motivated to create. There was one point in my life where I just got so busy I forgot completely, but then I started to see that I was not happy. I was like, it was a different stage. And then when I picked back up on my art again, basically I was delighted, I became happier, and I found more ways, more art. I discovered more things I can do.
That's good. So one thing before we finish our interview, I really enjoyed talking with you, Ali.
Thank you.
Can you tell anything to our viewers? Like any final tips, something they can do in order to be more satisfied with their work?
Basically, never give up. Anything can be art. It can be a drawing, it can be a sculpture, it can be whatever you please so do. Like, the world is basically art. Look at it that way. Everything that happens is art. So just never give up. Even if you feel like you're not there, just keep going. You never know what you can do. Never leave it a blank canvas.
Alright, Thanks for coming here, Ali. I really enjoyed talking to you. I'm sure our viewers enjoyed it as well. You guys can ask Ali any questions, leave some comments in the comment section below, and thank you. I've taken it out of the way.